Are you current or future international student in the UK and wondering when is it a good time to start looking for a job in the UK? Well, in this video I'll tell you exactly the timeline you should follow if you want to secure a job in UK as an international student with a visa sponsorship. Hello everyone, I'm Valeria and this is my Grad. On my YouTube channel I share tips and advice on studying and working in the UK and beyond. I'm also a career consultant and I've helped numerous international students build careers in the UK, no matter where they come from, no matter the experience they have, no matter the course they studied. Well, actually, I was also an international student myself. I came to the UK back in 2011 and I studied University of Nottingham. I secured a job in the UK and my first job was working in HR and investment bank in London. Since I talk to international students daily and a lot of you talk to me through my Instagram page, make sure you follow me there. And I get a lot of questions about when is it a good time to start applying for a job, I'm about to start my course, or I have already started my course. So let me explain what timeline I suggest to follow in this video. So hit subscribe button, hit the like button, and let's go. The answer when you should start looking for a job is not as simple. To be honest, it depends on two factors. What is your level of experience and whether you're prepared to use the graduate visa. So let's tackle each of these in turn. So if you're a fresh graduate and you don't have any work experience, or perhaps you have less than 2 years of relevant experience and your experience is not from the UK, or maybe you do have experience but now you're changing careers and what you have done before coming to the UK is not super relevant or transferable to the career path you want to pursue now, then in this case you are eligible to apply to many graduate schemes. And graduate schemes are basically junior positions within a company that don't require any experience and they want fresh talent, and they usually say you need to have either 0 to 2 years of experience depending on the company. And these graduate schemes are really great because they provide quite a lot of time structured training, professional qualifications. There is a certain timeline you follow to become the leader of the company, and the best thing for international students is that actually many graduate schemes do get sponsored for a skilled worker visa. You either get the skilled worker visa straight away or you get it after your graduate visa expires. And really the sponsorship depends on the company. Not all graduate schemes are sponsored. Graduate scheme does not have anything in common with graduate visas. It's just the same name. But also how they will sponsor and what requirements of that depends on the firm, so it's in your hands to do the research. But the good thing is that yes, they sponsor, and I know a lot of cases when international students without experience applied, got in, and were sponsored for a job. The good example is actually me. I didn't have any HR experience, but I was sponsored for a work visa in investment bank on a HR, or back then it was called corporate development graduate program. If you want to get some ideas for sponsors in the UK, make sure you check out my free list where I talk about potential sponsors. I don't guarantee that they will sponsor, but it's a really good list to start with, to start your research with. Also have a free CV template and other resources on my website. Make sure you check it out. Going back to the topic of graduate schemes, yes, if you don't have experience, you could be eligible for these graduate schemes and they could be sponsored. We figured that out. But the important thing is that a lot of these graduate schemes hire in advance. They don't hire, 1-2 months before you start your role. They sometimes hire 1 year in advance and even 2 years in advance in some cases. So in general, it's 12 to 6 months in advance. And that's why if you don't have experience in the UK and you want to pursue this graduate scheme as soon as possible, as soon as you graduate, then you should start applying 12 months before your graduation date. So the second question is, do you want to use the graduate visa? Do you want to go on a graduate visa once you graduate? Are you going to be eligible? If yes, then you're not in a hurry. You can apply to those graduate schemes once you graduate, because a lot of graduate schemes will consider graduates, not just students that are currently studying and applying. If you don't want to use graduate visa, if you want to switch to a work visa or called skilled worker visa as soon as possible, and sort it out, and you don't want to spend money on a graduate visa, or maybe you want to qualify for permanent residence quicker, there could be different reasons, then you should start applying as soon as you start your master's in the UK, so 12 months before graduation. masters usually take 1 year. So as soon as you arrive at the UK, and some of my clients started applying even before they arrived at the UK, sounds crazy, but I'm telling you the reality, then you can secure a job as soon as you graduate, and you wouldn't have to worry about the job searching or graduate visa. I'm not saying graduate visa is bad, everyone has different situations, but I'm just telling you that it's possible to secure a job without it. So I do have clients who came to the UK and started applying as soon as they got here, or even back in their home country. They started their course in September, and by Christmas they already had offers, some by March, and then they were finishing the course and switching to skilled worker visa straight away. That's reality. If you're doing a bachelor's course, then you will have to start applying to these graduate schemes the summer or the autumn before your graduation. So as soon as you're starting your final year of bachelor's, or just before you're about to start, that's when I would recommend starting, so you have enough time to go through all stages of process, which can be quite long. And if you don't get this graduate scheme because you're not successful in the process, then you can start applying for other jobs when you are about to graduate, when you're closer to graduation date. At least you will have a chance to consider all the options and have a chance to save a lot of time and stress when the time pressure is on once you graduate. So what to do if you do have experience? Let's say you have more than 2 years of relevant experience, or maybe you've already have a successful career back home. You might not be eligible for all graduate schemes, or for most graduate schemes. Well, in reality, it depends on the company. How they measure relevant experience is quite vague, or how they measure experience is quite vague. But in many cases, you just will be overqualified for a graduate scheme, and perhaps you are aiming for a higher salary, more responsibility, and you don't want to pursue a graduate scheme. In that case, you can't really apply in advance, because if you apply for jobs that are more seniors, they're usually with immediate start dates. They're not looking for someone who is going to join them in 1 year. They're looking for someone who can join quite quickly, because there is a business need in a few months at least. That's why I recommend, if you do have experience and you're not aiming to work on a graduate level, then please apply 4 to 6 months before your graduation date, or 4 to 6 months before you're ready to start full-time work. On average, in my opinion, when I work with clients, it takes 4 to 6 months to secure a job in the UK if you're putting a lot of effort. So 6 months is a good time to start. If you get an interview straight away, some companies might be like, well, you can't start yet. But I know that a lot of stages take time. And just to prepare your resume or CV, research the company. So if you start 6 months in advance, you're giving yourself enough time. But it doesn't mean that if you have experience, there is nothing for you to do before 4 to 6 months before graduation date. You can work on your CV, you can research the companies, you can build connections, build a network around yourself. You can go on LinkedIn, meet people, go to different events, and so on. There is always something to do. If you're happy to use a graduate visa and you're not in a hurry, then you can apply once you graduate, once you submitted all your dissertation, all your projects, you got your result, maybe you got your graduate visa, sorted it out, and then you can apply. In both cases, with experience or without experience, if you're not in a hurry and you are happy to go on a graduate visa, you can do it after graduation. There is no real problem with that. Everyone has different circumstances. Another thing I want to mention, coming to study to the UK is a big investment. It's financial investment, time investment, effort, and so on. So obviously studying for your course is the most important part. You are here to gain knowledge, you're here to gain insights, experience, build network, and so on. So make sure you do focus on your studies most part, and obviously as well you need to make sure that you get a decent grade. I'm not talking top of the class, or even distinctions or first class degrees. I'm talking for at least 60%, which is merit and 2-1, which open more doors for you, especially if you're a graduate. Obviously, if you have more experience behind you, you have other technical skills to back you up, maybe the grades are not going to be that important. But if we go back to graduate schemes, or other junior positions, sometimes, actually quite often I see that the grades do matter, and in a job requirement they ask for a particular degree, which is usually 60%. I rarely see when they ask for distinction or first class unless it's a PhD program. I want to make sure you realize and build your priorities correctly. I am talking from a career perspective, but I don't want to stress you out. Everyone has different circumstances. Some people can work part-time, some don't have the time or opportunity. Some people, have a family with them, or have other responsibilities on the side. Some people have more difficult courses or find it more difficult to study in the UK. So it really, really depends. I don't want to stress you out. As I said, your well-being is the most important thing. You are you know better what's right for you in terms of pressure, but be honest with yourself. If you do have time to apply, why are you not investing that time if career in the UK is your long-term goal? From my perspective, I can tell you that I had clients who applied, as I said, before they even came to the UK. I have clients that applied during the studies. I have clients that applied once they graduated or once they got the graduate visa, and clients who started applying just before the graduate visa was expiring. There is no right scenario. There is a possibility to get a job no matter the timeline, no matter the timing you started to apply, but I would say, again, leave it at least 6 months to apply for a job before your graduate visa expires, or your student visa expires if you don't want to use a graduate visa. Because now, since we had the graduate visa for 2 years, I have a lot of clients coming to me, of potential clients coming to me and saying, my graduate visa is about to expire, or it expires in a few months, and unfortunately I don't really consider working with them because the timeline is too short. As I said, we need at least 6 months on your visa to really have an effective process. So if you want to work with me, make sure you check out my website. I have one-to-one programs, I have an online career course, and in August I'm going to launch a group career program as well. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if any comments or questions, and also if you have any other video ideas, I'll be happy to hear from you. See you on my YouTube page or on my Instagram page. Thank you so much for watching. The best of luck from my undergrad. Bye!